Guilty conscience.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the regular meeting of the Business, Housing, and Zoning Committee for May 20, 2025. I am Jamal Osman, and I'm the chair of this committee. Before we begin the meeting, I want to remind all members, staff, and the public that these meetings are broadcasted live to enable greater public participation. They include real-time captioning to increase the accessibility of our proceeding to the community. Therefore, all speakers need to be mindful to the rate of their speech so that our captioners can fully transcribe all comments to the broadcast. We ask all speakers to moderate the speed and clarity of their comments. We'll be using speaker management for this meeting, so please sign up. At this time, I'll ask clerk to call the roll so we can verify a quorum.
Councilmember Rainville.
Present.
Cashman.
Present.
Jenkins.
Present.
Chowdhury is absent. Vice Chair Ellison.
Here.
And Chair Osman.
Present.
There are 5 members present.
Let the record reflect we have a quorum. Councilmember Chowdhury will be joining us very soon. Before we proceed to the public hearing on our items agenda, we will first take up our consent agenda, which includes item 6 through 24. Item 6 is approving 2 liquor license. Item 7 is approving 5 liquor license renewals. Item 8 is approving 2 gambling license. Item 9 is approving 6 gambling license renewals. Item 10 is a passage of resolution adopting an updated reorganization of the administration fine schedule. Item 11 is amending 2025 license fee related to the pollution control fees. Item 12 is approving in Minneapolis Workforce Department Board Seat 11 appointments. Item 13 is approving a reduction of the inclusionary zoning requirement for the Silva on the River Housing Project. Item 14 is authorizing change to the Affordable Housing Trust Fund program. Item 15 is authorizing changes to 2026-2027 housing tax credit qualify allocation plan for procedural manual. Item 16 is authorizing an additional write-down to partners in property commercial land trust for the property located at 19 East 26th Street. Item 17 is a passage of resolution approving HUD appropriation to CBET. Item 18 is approving a second amendment to the purchase agreement with the East Phillips Neighborhood Institute. Item 19 is setting a public hearing for June 10, 2025 to consider authorizing a host approval to the City of Iota for multiple Minneapolis projects. Item 20 is setting a public hearing for June 20, 2025 to consider the sale of multiple properties for Minneapolis homes. Item 21 is setting a public hearing for June 10, 2025 to consider City Planning Commission appointments. Item 22 is setting a public hearing for June 10, 2025 to consider ordinance related to the regulating sauna establishment. Item 23 is setting a public hearing for June 24, 2025 to consider ordinance related to the prohibited sale of and location restriction for licensed tobacco dealers. Finally, item 24 is referring to staff to the subject matter of ordinance by adding a newer chapter entitled Restrictive Covenant. With that, do any of my colleagues have any items that they'd like to pull for discussion? I believe Councilmember Chowdhury is.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd like to pull item number 11 for discussion.
Thank you. Councilmember Jenkins.
Yeah, I'd like to pull item number 18.
Also on item number 18. Anyone else? Seeing none, I will approve all items except item 11 and item 18 for discussions. With that, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And those opposed say nay. The ayes have it and the motion carries. All right, I will give the floor to Councilmember Chowdhury.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chair. Colleagues, I am bringing forward a motion with Councilmember Chavez to item number 11. to amend the 2025 license fee schedule and adjust licenses for the sidewalk street card food vendor. The amendment lowers the cost of doing business for a single street sidewalk food card vendor. Currently, it's set at $719 for a single license. As many of you know, as we've discussed, sidewalk food cart vending in our city. Many of those vendors are immigrants, BIPOC residents, small-scale entrepreneurs trying to sustain a livelihood with limited capital. And through ongoing discussions with our city staff, food vendors, across council offices, one of the biggest barriers that we have seen is this initial license cost, right? Many vendors want to do the work to come into compliance, get the certifications that they need, and in order for them to start their journey as an entrepreneur in our city, a part of this is lowering the license fee and creating a more equitable system. We landed on 63 because that's presently the cost of a license fee for nonprofits for food trucks for nonprofits in the city of Minneapolis. And there was agreement across our city staff, mayor's office, and council offices. So I ask for your support today and would like to move the amendment.
All right, I'll recognize Councilmember Rainville.
Thank you. I appreciate the $63 explanation. That was my question. But I'm wondering, we usually have fees cover the cost of enforcement. Does this drop in the fees help cover the cost of enforcement? That's a big drop. Is there staff that can answer that, or?
License Manager, welcome.
Thank you, Chair Osmond, Councilmember Rainville. The fees are, there's a fee study. All fee licenses are set at a cost recovery model, but it is in the ability of the council to have a policy so they can lower those fees as necessary. So the $63 will not necessarily cover the cost of enforcement, but it has been brought forth to make this fee lower in order to be able to help people come into compliance. But no, the 63 will not cover enforcement.
Okay, thank you. If you could stay, Ms. Lingo, I do have one other question. I get a lot of complaints about vendors that are standing in the medians. I'm assuming they don't have a license. They clearly don't have a cart. Do we have any plans to enforce that issue?
Through the chair, Councilmember Rainville, this is a different conversation than the sidewalk vendors themselves. So there will be no license in order to be able to vend in the street, as it is unsafe. We will be working with them as well. But it is a different concept.
I understand there are two different issues, so thank you. But you will be doing enforcement to get them out of the streets?
We will be working with that industry as well, yes.
Thank you.
Councilmember Chowdhury.
Thank you, Chair. I just wanted to make some comments. One of the things that we were considering in lowering the license fee is understanding that this could open up more opportunities for entrepreneurs, as we have also opened up the goods and service districts for sidewalk food cart vendors. So essentially, there will be more individuals paying a license fee, which will come into revenue for the city. I will also say we have seen an enforcement by citation thousands of dollars on sidewalk street cart vendors who are out of compliance. That is at cost to the city, and those citations, the individuals simply don't have the means to pay that back, and that's why we want to pursue reducing the barriers for these food vendors, so they aren't vending in the median, so they are paying a license fee, so they're getting started. And I just want you to think about a vision of what it means for someone to get a license and to be able to vend and start up their business as a way of business incubation, and eventually move on to maybe having a food truck or a restaurant of their own in our city. We know that that's a story of many of the restaurateurs in the city of Minneapolis. And I'll also note, we've looked into multiple cities that have also lowered their license fees, not limited to Chicago and Los Angeles, to address the very issues that we also see in the city of Minneapolis.
Councilmember Jenkins.
Thank you, Chair Osman. To Councilmember Chowdhury, I'm sorry, to staff. Can you describe what nonprofits are operating food trucks?
Chair Osmond, Councilmember Jenkins, there are only just a couple currently licensed, but historically, Sisters Camelot fell under that jurisdiction. There was another one about 10 years ago that was part of a church organization, and the Minneapolis Public Schools has one. So there's only 3.
Thank you. I guess I will be supporting this motion today. I do want to dispute, even if more people get into the thing, it's not revenue to the city. It's the cost of trying to manage the process. So it's not necessarily revenue. It is. And we're lowering it, so it's not even going to cover the cost of administering the program. But, we want to create opportunities for people to have micro businesses. However, it seems as if, because I've just seen more people in the streets now, that people have assumed that the passage of this ordinance means now we can go and sell in the street. And I'm not sure if we're doing education around that at all.
Councilmember Chowdhury.
Yeah, thank you so much, Councilmember Jenkins. No, I totally misspoke with revenue. I'm just thinking in terms of cost recuperation. I'll just note, we have been in communication with a lot of these food vendors, and the RFP for a nonprofit to support education and coming into compliance is now public, and so steps are being taken there. There was a budget allocation that was done. And a lot of these food vendors, they are in communication with us and other organizations, and they're asking, when can we start taking classes and when can we start getting ready to come into compliance? So many of the folks that we know want to come into compliance. Obviously, there's going to be some individuals who may not be brought into the fold, but that's the intention of this work, and hopefully we can use this season and these efforts to see how we're shifting things on the ground. But things are going to be fluid, and we're going to work with city staff and the community so we can continue to be successful each warm season in the city of Minneapolis when people are selling food.
Vice Chair Ellison.
Just wanted to jump in and just thank Councilmember Chowdhury, but also thank staff who've worked on this. We have seen folks over the years increasingly selling food in the median, operating out of compliance. Is it because they want to break the rules? No, it's not. It's because they want to make a living. And so what I see from staff and from some of the council members who have worked on this is a way to support folks who are looking to make a living and make sure that they don't do it out of compliance, make sure that they do have food safety knowledge. Some of these folks just don't know what the rules are, right? And they don't know where they can and can't sell. Maybe they've come from somewhere where they could sell that way. And so, or where they weren't bothered as they did sell that way. And so I really see this as a pathway for us to get more people into compliance. I see it as a way for us to avoid criminalizing people who are trying to, earn a dollar. They're doing something out of compliance, but they're not necessarily out there breaking the law, causing harm, or trying to. And so I think that by, pursuing a solution as opposed to just trying to tighten the vice grip on these people, on people who are making a living that way, is that's good governance. That's ethical governance. And so I think that this is the correct way to go. There are a lot of things in the city where when folks are operating out of compliance in some way, instead of bringing the hammer down on their head, we work with them to make sure that they understand what the rules are. And if they are receptive to that and they get into compliance, they get rewarded for that. And then if they don't, then at least we can distinguish between the folks who want to break the rules and the folks who don't. They just don't know what the rules are. So that's why I think this is really important, and really speaks to, I think, even just how much some of the council members who have worked on this and the staff who have gotten us from point A to point B logistically have their ear to the ground and supporting people in creating a solution here. So I'll be supporting this, and thank you, Councilmember Chowdhury, for bringing it forward.
Councilmember Cashman.
Thank you, Chair Osman. Yes, I will also be supporting this. I think it's great to make this legal and also make it possible. But I did want to ask about the other part of item number 11, which is the P-car fee, and I'm wondering if Ms. Molman, if you'd be able to just explain what's being proposed here as the change, because I'm having trouble just on limbs seeing the actual number for the CO2 equivalent.
Yes, absolutely. Chair Osman, Councilmember Cashman, I'm Kelly Molman with Environmental Programs in the Minneapolis Health Department. So the proposal that's coming before you is to change the carbon dioxide equivalent fee for the pollution control annual registration from what had been adopted at the end of 2024 of $452 per ton to $44 per ton for 2025, and that is to bring us in compliance with cost recovery for known costs for 2025 for the CO2e P-car program.
Okay, thank you. And I'll ask the clerk, Amber, after the meeting just to show me where that is on LIMS so that I can refer to it. Thank you so much.
Right, thank you. Seeing no one else in queue, with that, Councilmember Chowdhury's amendment, the motion to approve this, item 11, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And those opposed say nay. The ayes have it, and the motion carries. Now we are going back, item 18, recognize Councilmember Jenkins.
Thank you, Chair Osman, and I just wanted to get clarity on this amendment. I'm not sure if it's an extension or if staff can possibly answer that.
Director, please.
Chair Osman, Councilmember Jenkins, Eric Hansen, the CPED Director. The joy of bringing this action to you, and what it is it is moving a contingency date within the approved purchase agreement where we're selling the Roof Depot site to the EPNI group. That date in our current agreement is May 31st. This moves it out to July 1st to allow for the legislature to complete its work. They're going into a special session. We didn't anticipate it. The May 31st contingency date was expecting that the legislature would finish its work on time. As you recall, the EPNI group needs $5.7 million from the legislature in order to complete the funding that it needs for the sale. It also needs to extend $2 million that the legislature has already committed to this project past a June 30th deadline. We're hopeful that the legislature will take that up through its bonding bill. It's uncertain at this point in time if it is going to be in that, but this will give us time to work out what happens in the legislature as they figure out how to put their bills together for next biennial budget, which will start on July 1st. The deadline to close on the purchase of the property still remains the same in September. So that date has not changed. It's just this intermediate date of showing proof of funding for us to move towards the closing procedures.
I have more questions, but I guess I'll ask them offline. Thank you.
Councilmember Chowdhury.
Thank you. Yeah, I just wanted to encourage folks to stay in conversation with me Vice Chair Rainville of the IGR committee, and Director Topinka. This is like the one of the top bonding priorities for the city, and so Director Topinka and the IGR team is doing a really good job of tracking this and then also advocating on behalf of the city. And we're hoping to make a win out of this opportunity that is this very, very special session.
See no one else, I will move item 18 for approval. All those in favor say aye. Aye. And those opposed say nay. The ayes have it and the motion carries. All right, now we will proceed to the public hearing portion of our agenda. This item is item 1 is a public hearing for 2025-2029 HUD Consolidated Action Plan. I will welcome Matt Bauer from Finance and Private Services to speak this item. Welcome.
Good afternoon, Chair Osman, members of the committee, Matt Bauer, Finance and Property Services. And what we have before you today is the 2025 to 29 HUD Consolidated Plan. That's the city's application to HUD, the Housing and Urban Development Department at the federal government, for the city's Community Development Block Grant, Home Investment Partnerships, Emergency Solutions Grant, and Housing Opportunities for Persons with AIDS entitlement grants. The plan describes for both HUD and the public the city's intentions with these funds, the strategies we have toward housing and community development objectives, addressing the needs and concerns of low and moderate income residents of the city and the surrounding community. There are 5 goal areas expressed with these through the plan: the provision of decent affordable housing, provision and development of housing and services for the homeless, special needs housing provision, expanding economic opportunities, and improving neighborhood conditions. Requirement of HUD before we submit the plan, which we anticipate will be the week of June 9th, is to hold a public hearing to receive comment on the plan. We've had a 30-day open public comment period, which we're currently about the 3rd week in on the plan, and any comments received during that period in written form or at this hearing today will be included in the plan that we will be submitting to HUD. And we are also asking for, as staff, authorizations to submit the plan to HUD and the associated resolutions to allow us to do that. And with that, I would open it up for the hearing.
Thank you so much for that presentation. I am going to proceed to open the public hearing and see if there's anyone who would like to comment on this item. All right. See none, close the public hearing and move this item for approval. Are there any questions? See none, I'll ask all those in favor say aye. Aye. And those opposed say nay. The ayes have it and the motion carries. Thank you. Right. Public hearing item 2, we have a public hearing for permanent expansion premises license for Barbette. I'll ask Jim Tolzman from Business License to brief us on that. Welcome.
Good afternoon, Chair and committee members. I am Jim Tolzman. I am with Community Planning and Economic Development, where I serve as a licensed inspector of licenses and consumer services. I am presenting an expansion of premises permanent application from Barbette, owned by Mr. Susie LLC. Barbette is located at 1600 Lake Street West. Barbette is requesting to add a dining patio, which be located in the rear parking area. Barbette is requesting an expansion of 28 seats. The proposed expansion area was previously used during the COVID pandemic. The exterior hours will be Monday through Sunday, 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. Public hearing notices were sent to residents and property owners within 300 feet of the premises. The East Isle Neighborhood Organization, Uptown Business Association, and council member Chuck Tai. We have received 1 positive response from the community. There are no issues concerning the business or issuance of this license. There are no issues concerning the business or issuance of this license. The The License and Consumer Service Division recommends approval of the permanent expansion of premises. This concludes my presentation at this time. I will stand for any comments or questions. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that presentation. I'll proceed to open the public hearing and see if there's anyone who would like to speak on this item. Thank you. I see Mary Beth from Uptown. Welcome.
Hi. Sorry. I'm Mary Beth Mueller. I'm the Chief of Staff for Placemaker Hospitality, and we operate Barbette at 1600 West Lake Street. We are really excited to put that patio back there and capture the very short season of Minnesota summer. 28 covers may seem like a small amount, but it's very, very, very big to our bottom line in the current restaurant operating, climate.
Thank you so much.
Any questions?
Nope.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Are there anyone who would like to speak on this item? Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing. I'll recognize Councilmember Cashman.
Thank you, Chair Osman. I just had one question. Maybe it's for staff or maybe it's for you, Mary Beth. But I'm just wondering if this patio in the parking lot will remove the parking that is there, I assume, for this summer period. And then secondly, will it be covered for rain, or will it just be totally open air?
No, it is totally open, just like our regular patio. And we do have a lease with the building owner to take those 3 parking spots for the summer.
Okay, just three spots will be removed.
Yeah.
Okay, great. I will move this item for approval and wish you
Thank you.
well. Thank
Appreciate
you so
it.
much.
See no one else with Councilmember Cashman's motion to approve. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And those opposed say nay. The ayes have it and the motion carries. All right, next we have a public hearing for on-sale liquor license for Fro Yo Soul. I will recognize Manager Amy Lingo to give us presentation.
Thank you, Chair Osmond and committee members. Once again, I am Manager Amy Lingo with Licenses and Consumer Services, and I am presenting an amended application for Fro Yo Soul LLC, DBA as Fro Yo Soul, located at 110 Kenwood Parkway in Ward 7 for an on-sale liquor general entertainment with Sunday sales. On April 22nd, 2025, a public hearing was held for this item requesting an on-sale wine with strong beer general entertainment license. However, after discussion with the Minnesota Department of Alcohol and Gambling Enforcement, it has been deemed more appropriate for Fro Yo Soul to have an on-sale liquor license. Nothing is changing in their business plan as previously presented. On May 9th, 2025, an updated public hearing notice was sent to property owners within 600 feet of the premises. Notices were sent to the Lowry Hill Neighborhood Association, the Lorraine Park Business Association, and the council member, Katie Cashman. And we have received no new comments from the community. There are no issues concerning this business or issuance of the license, and Licenses and Consumer Services recommends approval of an on-sale liquor with general entertainment license for Fro Yo Soul. This concludes my presentation, and I stand for any comments or questions.
All right, thank you so much for that presentation. I'm going to proceed to open the public hearing and see if there's anyone who would like to speak. All right, see none, close the public hearing and recognize Councilmember Cashman.
Thank you, Chair Osman. Just a question for you, Ms. Lingo, is I see this doesn't change anything in their business plan because they were already planning on just doing beer and wine. Is that correct? They're not planning to switch to full open bar or a full liquor license through the city?
Chair Osman, Chair Cashman, that is correct. They are making no changes to their business plan, including their menu. So this
Okay.
is just allowing the issuance of the license, but they still plan on serving just wine and strong.
Okay, thank you for clarifying that. And then does this change the timeline on opening for them?
Through the chair, they are currently open. Now, without the alcohol, they have the ability, we're helping them pull temps as necessary if they need, like they did for their opening weekend for the art festival. But otherwise, they should be good to go.
Okay, so once this is approved, then they'll be able to start doing the beer and wine, adding that to their menu.
Correct.
Okay, thanks, and I'll move this for approval as well.
All right, thank you. See no one else with that motion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And those opposed say nay. That item moves. All right. Our last public hearing is an item ordinance establishing the Minneapolis Tourism Improvement District. I'll I will ask Director Jeff Johnson to present this item. Welcome.
Thank you, Chair Osman and committee members. My name is Jeff Johnson. I'm the General Manager of the Minneapolis Convention Center. I'm here today to introduce you and the public to an ordinance that would create a tourism improvement district for Minneapolis. A tourism improvement district is a geographic area where hoteliers come together and share collected resources to provide supplemental funding for specific tourism activities. Hotels do this by implementing self-imposed fees onto hotel room rates. These supplemental funds are used to support new tourism, specific activities that benefit the hotels. Resources collected through the TID enhance and are additional to public investments and the hotel's own individual budgets. These supplemental resources increase the amount of business not only at the hotels, but in our other hospitality businesses like restaurants and transportation providers. Additional sales and use taxes are also collected for the Downtown Assets Fund through increased business. TIDs are common throughout the country, but only recently were allowed in the state of Minnesota. Fees are typically charged as a percentage of the hotel room night or a flat fee per night. An average charge is generally 2%. The hotels manage the funds and determine how they are used. Typical uses fall into categories relating to sales and marketing. The Minneapolis hotels desire a TID to increase the level of investment in driving tourism business to Minneapolis. The hospitality industry has not fully recovered from the pandemic. Business travel was once a strong driver of hotel occupancy in Minneapolis. Business travel, though, has not regained the strength, which puts more and more pressure on group and event business. Group business is competitive, and Minneapolis needs to increase its recognition to our potential clients as a destination for events. The hotels also have consistent need periods of low occupancy around holidays and during winter months. Increased resources will be used to help fill those need times with business. Additional needs in activations, special events, and leisure marketing campaigns will supplement the group business work. Also, as the hospitality industry recovers, we know that our workforce will grow, and there is a need for workforce development investments so that we can have a workforce that meets the needs of the industry. A TID will allow the hotels to be a partner in investing for these outcomes. Today, we bring forth an ordinance to establish the Minneapolis Tourism Improvement District for a public hearing. As mentioned earlier, the state of Minnesota authorized the creation of a tourism improvement districts to fund new tourism items at increased levels of service for a community. All 48 eligible hotels were petitioned, and 73% approved of the creation of the TID. A notice of the public hearing was emailed to all 48 eligible hotels and all council members. We received one letter in response that is attached to the LIMS file, and I personally received one phone call from a hotel just asking some clarifying questions. Both of those interactions were positive. I will go through a quick summary of what is in the ordinance. First, the fee is limited to hotels in the entire city of Minneapolis with 50 or more rooms. The TID will be managed by a 9-member committee of hotel representatives with full authority to manage the work of the TID. The committee members will create the work plan to be executed by Meet Minneapolis. A 2% fee on hotel rooms will be collected under the same rules as the lodging tax. These fees are anticipated to bring in $6 to $7 million annually. Hotels will be required to recertify the Tourism Improvement District every 5 years. Also, each year, the committee will present a report of their activities to the City Council, along with a public hearing to follow. Meet Minneapolis will execute the annual plan made by the committee and will act as the Tourism Improvement District's fiscal agent. The funds will be used for marketing, public relations, workforce development, activations, special projects, and sales activities. Resources will also pay for administration and collections, and a small budget reserve will be kept each year. At that, I will stop for questions.
Thank you so much for that presentation. We'll have the questions later, but first I want to open the public hearing and see who have signed up. All right, we got a few people here. I have, is it a clerk? Michael Clark from Ward 2. Welcome, sir.
Good afternoon, Chair Osman and committee members. My name is Michael Clark. I'm a hotel leader that has worked in a hotel in the Mill District for more than 25 years of my career. I volunteer as the president of the Greater Minneapolis Hotel Association, as a member of the Downtown Council, as a board member of Meet Minneapolis, and as the hotel leader for the Minneapolis TID Task Force. I started my career as a dishwasher in a Bloomington hotel and have worked in every food and beverage position within my industry. Thank you for taking the time to hear my comments on the proposed Minneapolis Tourism Improvement District. The Minnesota lodging community worked for years at a state level on enabling legislation that passed in 2023. Since then, the Greater Minneapolis Hotel Association and Meet Minneapolis have joined together to create the MTID Task Force, which has been meeting for about 3 years. It took the better part of a year to identify each hotel's stakeholder and complete our outreach. Many hotels in the proposed district experienced turnover in their leadership, ownership, and/or their management company during the pandemic. The hotel community was fractured, which made our work very time-consuming. Now this work is done. The Minneapolis hotel stakeholders have shown favorable support of greater than 70%. Tourism improvement districts are the best practice in hundreds of municipalities nationwide to drive their tourism economies. It's time for Minneapolis to start thinking big. Cities with TIDs have consistently demonstrated increased tourism, hotel occupancy, local sales tax revenue, visitor spending, and greater available funding for environmental and workforce programs. MTID endeavors in support of Meet Minneapolis sales and marketing efforts will lead to meaningful results in enhancing our reputation as a city and driving convention center sales. Special projects will allow us to train our hospitality workforce and initiate new citywide events driving tourism and workforce stability. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your testimony. Next person is Eric Thierling. Hi, welcome.
Good afternoon, Chair Osman and council members. My name is Eric Thieling. I'm the general manager of the Hilton Minneapolis, the largest hotel in Minnesota. I'm here today because I believe deeply in the future of this city, and I urge you to support the creation of a tourism improvement district. Tourism is the lifeblood of Minneapolis. Our arts, sports, food, and natural beauty bring people here, but we're falling behind. Other cities are investing aggressively to attract visitors, and we simply can't afford to sit on the sidelines any longer. The TID is our chance to fight back, to compete. And the best part, it doesn't cost local taxpayers anything. This is a self-assessment by hotels, those of us who directly benefit from tourism. And those dollars will be reinvested in what matters, promoting Minneapolis, bringing back major events, supporting our local culture, and creating unforgettable experiences that drive return visits. At Hilton Minneapolis, we currently employ over 300 incredible union-backed team members. Before COVID, that number was over 400. We want to bring those jobs back. We want to grow, but we need more visitors, and the TID gives us the power to make that happen. This isn't about hotel profits. It's about families, it's about jobs, it's about reigniting downtown and reminding the world of everything Minneapolis has to offer. We have a choice: act boldly or fall behind. A tourism improvement district is more than smart policy. It's a statement of belief in our city's future. I urge you to vote yes. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your testimony. Next person is Mark Laboritis.
Chair Osman and members of the committee, yes, Mark Leibovitz. I'm a resident in Ward 7, and we have the Element Hotel, Ward 5. And I've been in Minneapolis since the early 90s, and it's a privilege to be here. and I want to thank you for the opportunity to participate in this way. The TID is going to enhance an existing collaboration with the hospitality community, Meet Minneapolis. And, nobody's ever excited about raising prices by even 2%, but we have an opportunity here to work with a proven entity, proven, the expertise, professionalism, and it's going to be very efficient because we couldn't do this as efficiently individually as we can with Meet Minneapolis. It'll help our hospitality community catch up in the recovery and grow. And that will create opportunities for associates and workers on many different levels. There'll be opportunities for advancement, be additional hours, and, new jobs, over time. And I think it's also an industry recognition that we have an obligation to self-help where we can. We couldn't do this individually. We can do it together. And, very hopeful, and thank you for considering it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Next person is J.J. Highwood from Ward 7. Welcome.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Council Chair Osman and committee members. My name is J.J. Haywood, and I'm the CEO and one of the owners of Pizza Luce. We have 3 restaurants in Minneapolis, including our flagship kind of restaurant in downtown. And since COVID has happened, all 3 of those restaurants are down dramatically in sales traffic, with our downtown location being down about 20% in traffic compared to pre-COVID. So this proposal is great. Tourism is extraordinarily important, I think, to the city as a whole, but especially downtown. The shift to remote work, we all know it, we work down here, has really hollowed out our daytime demand, and the sharp decline in business travel has only made things worse. So I'm strongly in favor of the Tourism Improvement District. The program will provide dedicated and sustainable funding to market our city, attract events, and support new programming, especially in slower months. It'll reignite energy and vibrancy in downtown by bringing back visitors and making sure our sporting events are full of people and life. It will help replace lost traffic from business travelers and office workers. And the investment in workplace development is super important. So this isn't just about recovery, it's really about revitalizing our city, and I urge you to support the TID ordinance for the good of our city's small businesses and the broader community. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your testimony. Next person is Melvin. Welcome.
Good afternoon, Chair Osmond, members of the committee. My name is Melvin Tennant, and I serve as the President and CEO of Meet Minneapolis, which is your long-term partner working to drive meetings, tourism, conventions to our city, as well as shape our city's perception. That's a very important part of the work that we do. This TID effort has been nearly 8 years in the making, and with support from former city leadership, we navigated a legal path, a very difficult legal path to get here, including essential legislative changes. And if you allow me just for a moment to give a special recognition to Bill Deef, a member of our team who recently retired, but he was the shepherd of this project since 2017 when we first did our initial destination master plan, but he has been with us every step of the way. The Minneapolis delegation members got the statewide legislation passed. The late Senator Kerry Dietzick, along with Representatives Jim Davney, Frank Hornstein, and Aisha Gomez were instrumental in making this possible. I'd also like to recognize the tremendous work of our partner at the Convention Center, Jeff Johnson. He's done yeoman's work to help us get to this point. This ordinance represents a powerful partnership between the city, our lodging industry, and Meet Minneapolis, and it's a strategic investment in growing our visitor economy by bringing more meetings, sporting events, and tourism that will benefit businesses citywide and boost revenues for the city of Minneapolis, but most importantly, retain and grow the number of jobs. So with your help, Minneapolis will be the first tourism improvement district in the entire state. of Minnesota, and we know that several other cities are taking a look at this and hoping to replicate what we do here today. So we urge you to please advance this ordinance and to help us seize the opportunity for lasting economic empowerment. And I thank you for this opportunity and for your support.
Thank you, sir, for your testimony. Next person is David McLean.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, council members. My name is David McCann. I'm a member leader of Unite Here Local 17, the hospitality union representing thousands of workers here in Minneapolis. We represent workers from Minneapolis hotels, our convention center, sports arenas, restaurants, craft brewing, and now First Avenue as well. I work at the Hotel Ivy in Ward 7, and I live in Ward 7 as well. I would like to thank council members Wansley, Cashman, and Rainville for bringing this proposal forward. Being able to dedicate resources to our hotel industry is important. As host to numerous international conventions, sports teams, and so many other events, our hotel workers are some of the most important people when it comes to the impression that Minneapolis leaves on our visitors. Organizationally, Local 17 believes that the proposed tourism industry district will create additional opportunities that amplify other recovery efforts already happening, but particularly for our hotel industry. Thank you also for including the ability to create training lanes for more workers in our hotel industry. Doing outreach, recruiting, and providing assistance with job preparation will also assist hotels to reprofessionalize our workspace and make those jobs more sustainable. In the future, there will be opportunities coming from Rise Up Center, a multi-jurisdictional training facility also in Ward 7, that will train those workers in the culinary, utility, and housekeeping positions needed. This TID ordinance will become a real tool in the revitalization, recovery, and rethinking of downtown and U of M neighborhoods. I believe that having a lens on work, Local 17 believes that having a lens on workers and Minneapolis residents will also be a key figure to its success, and we support this proposal. Thank you for your consideration and work today.
Thank you so much for your testimony. Our next person is Jim Tolzman. Jim here.
Councilmember Osmond, that was the speaker of the presentation. You can move on to the next name. He accidentally signed up.
The next person, I can't read it, but the last name is Wickel or Wickes? I don't know if it's Aaron or Wicks. Hi, welcome.
Aaron Wicks, yes.
Oh, Aaron, okay.
Welcome. Thank you, Chairman Osmond and Council. You know, I'll echo what many of my colleagues have said prior, and I'll keep it short. In addition to all the great marketing efforts and priorities that this TID, it's also important to recognize the various segments. So it's not just the downtown core. We have University, we have the, Uptown, we have Warehouse District. So I think with this, the way this was put together and the governance committee is going to ensure that all aspects of Minneapolis are going to be represented. Priorities and initiatives will not only benefit directly downtown, but also the outlying areas, which, you know, it's important to remember. So I really like the way this is coming together. It ensures that, you know, equal representation is covered. So I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Are there anyone who would like to speak on this item? All right, seeing none, I'll close the public hearing and recognize Councilmember Cashman.
Okay, thank you, Chair Osman. I just want to thank everybody for coming out to the public hearing today. It's really important to hear from hotel owners, managers, workers, of course, small business community that also depends so much on the tourism industry, and from our Meet Minneapolis staff. So thank you, everybody who came to speak on this and advocate for this. I am really proud to be authoring this ordinance because I know how important the visitor economy is to downtown recovery, especially as we shift from the 9-to-5 clientele to a 24/7 clientele downtown, and attracting people to our hotels is really important to that. So I'm grateful for all the work that's gone into this. I think it's a great product, and I'm really excited to see what ideas come out of the committee for sales and marketing, especially attracting people to Minneapolis in the winter months when, you know, sales tend to go down. So, Mr. Johnson, I just had a couple questions for you that have come up in community meetings as I've been talking about this recently. So I just wanted to ask if we do have any hotels with less than 50 rooms that won't, that are going to be exempt from this fee?
Chair Osman, Councilmember Cashman, there are hotels with less than 50 rooms in the city of Minneapolis. The number of them I'm not exactly sure of, too. Thank you, Councilmember Rainville.
Okay.
So,
And then also wondering if, for example, there's a building that has 50 Sonder rooms or Airbnb rooms in a single building, would this apply to them?
Chair Osman, Councilmember Cashman, as far as Sonder goes, I believe that they are as hotels. If it's 50 rooms or more, they would be in place. As far as Airbnb, I don't believe we have any that are that large.
Okay, but if they were to have more than 50 rooms in a single building, would they then start to have to pay this fee?
Chair Osman, Councilmember Cashman, I don't know for sure. I'm looking at Bill Deeft. I don't know that we know that answer at this point.
Okay, no problem. I'll follow up with you after to see if we can figure that out. And then who is going to be on the governance committee and how will that be structured? And at what point upon passage of this ordinance will it be formed?
Chair Osman, Councilmember Cashman, once this is through its 45-day waiting period, the hotels then will come together and there will be a process where they will select the 9 people that will sit on
Okay, thank you. And will there be any public representative on that committee?
No, it serves ex officio.
Chair Osman, Councilmember Cashman, Bill Deef is answering all of these questions, but he just had said Melvin Tennant, who is the CEO of Meet Minneapolis, will serve as an ex officio on the committee, not one of the 9, but serving to help.
Okay, thank you. I just have 2 more questions. So how quickly will we begin to collect and distribute this revenue?
Chair Osman, Councilmember Cashman, we believe that we will be able to start collecting in September, and then obviously from that, we believe $6 to $7 million per year will be collected.
And I imagine it will be distributed more than yearly. It'll be monthly or quarterly?
Chair Osman, Councilmember Cashman, yes, it'll be distributed as things come up and as the committee finds activities that they want to be involved in. Obviously, there'll be a lag time from September where they'll, get collections in before they can start spending any money. So I would assume that things will really start happening more in 2026 as we get going.
Okay, thanks. And then my last question is about spending the money and what it's going to be spent on. So I think there's a delineation of 35% for sales, 35% for marketing, and a couple other categories. So can you just give me a sense of, the difference between sales activities, marketing activities, and what you think that what those activities are going to look like, as an example?
Chair Osman, Councilmember Cashman, again, the group of 9 will make these decisions. Marketing is all about getting the word out, right? It's going to different clientele and marketing to them. It's going across the country and marketing Minneapolis as a destination for tourists, which we have not done very much of in the past. It's generally been done on a statewide level. From a sales standpoint, it can be many different things. As an example, right now at the convention center, there is a group here called D25. They are a group of third-party meeting planners that are in town on a diversity and inclusion conference, learning about Minneapolis. And so funding that could come out of, in the future, a TID or things like that, where we're bringing clients in and showing them Minneapolis. Because what we have found is that when we get a client to come to Minneapolis, we generally can sell them on Minneapolis. It's just sometimes it's difficult to get a client to think about us as an option.
Well, Minneapolis is a great option, so I'm really happy that there are many others who think the same about our city, and thanks for answering my questions today, and I'll move this ordinance for approval.
Thank you, Councilmember Cashman. I think TID is a really smart decision, and thank you for those that have worked on this. I think it's obvious that since COVID and everything that happened, everything went down, and now being creative and trying to get tourism back in downtown or in our city, it's really smart. Our city is beautiful. We have our sports teams doing well, and I am excited to support this. And also, let's say that, the folks that came here and spoke, the hotels, the union, everyone wants this to happen. So, super excited, and someone who actually represent part of downtown, I will ask if it's okay for authors, if I can be a co-author, added as a co-author.
Absolutely.
All right, thank you, and thank you, Dr. Jeff Johnson, and thank you, Melvin, and Meet Minneapolis, and shout out to you, Bill. Thank you for your service for our city, and yes, I will recognize Councilmember Rainville.
Thank you. I'm very pleased to be an author on this, and I'm glad that you jumped into Councilmember Osmond. Director Johnson, wonderful presentation. I know you've done a lot of work on this, and the presentation was excellent. I can't wait to put that in my newsletter Friday to tell everybody what a great thing we have to look forward to. And Mr. Clark, I do appreciate you bringing down all the general managers today, and I didn't realize that you and I have dishwashing as our first job in common, so perhaps we should form the alumni club of dishwashers or something like that. So that's great to learn that about you. And Mr. Deef, I complimented you several weeks ago about your 8-year effort on this. I want to compliment you again today. Thank you so much for that. And JJ, where are you? I can't see you behind. You still there? Okay. Just looking at you reminds me I didn't have lunch today, so I'm going to run down to Pizza Luce and grab something after this is over. So good to see you again, JJ. Thank you.
All right, Councilmember Chowdhury.
Thank you, Chair Osmond. First, want to start off by thanking all of the authors, Councilmember Cashman, Councilmember Rainville, Councilmember Wansley, and now Councilmember Osmond.
Yes.
And thank our city staff for all their hard work on this, and thank Michael Clark. I know I heard from my policy aides you've spent a significant amount of time in your career working on this yourself and advocating for it, as well as everyone on the Meet Minneapolis team. I was really excited when this passed through the state legislature, and it's great to see it come to fruition. I am a pretty frequent flyer of downtown. Obviously, I work here, but I'm oftentimes there at least one day each weekend. Councilmember Rainville knows that because I'll send him a text message. I should start doing that again to let you know when I'm around your neighborhood. So it's just exciting to see that we're really focusing in on recovery from all different angles, right? Increasing the number of residents who actually live in downtown, encouraging a vision of our seniors getting to age with dignity there, people getting to raise their families, but also really getting to invite more people into the city of Minneapolis. I think we all know that the city of Minneapolis is very unique and special and a wonderful city that is evolving into her identity, and yes, her. And I think it's really important as we take this step forward to continue to message that out. And also, this is great news to share out. I know we have to wait 45 days until it goes into effect. I wish it would be around the same time that we have a championship game going on. Fingers crossed, knock on wood, all of the things. One question that I just quick had, and I will of course be supporting this today, is I know that the expiration for this is set after 5 years, and there's a renewal process. I know that that's set by state statute, but I'm not familiar with it. So in 5 years' time, what is our procedure to renew the Tourism Improvement District?
Chair Osmond, Councilmember Chowdhury, very similar to this time around too, where we will have another petition to the 48, hopefully more, hotels at that time in 5 years, but a petition to the hotels with 50 or more rooms, and then they have to get at least 51% approval in order to maintain and go forward. And each year we'll be coming back, and the committee will be presenting to, I'm assuming, this committee, and there'll be another public hearing every single year to get feedback on this.
Great. And just a follow-up question to that, that's really clarifying that it has to go through the petition process again. The number of hotels who are petitioned grow, which is the hope, will there be an increased number of seats that will be a part of the TID?
Chair Osman, Councilmember Chowdhury, I don't think that has been addressed at this point. That would have to be the committee themselves determining that they wanted to expand the group of 9 to a larger number. But that would be a possibility that they could do if again, the hotel industry expands, which we would hope in Minneapolis.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. That's all my questions.
Thank you. Councilmember Jenkins.
Thank you, Chair Osman. And I guess I wanted to just ask Councilmember Rainville, can I join the dishwasher club? I was the chief steward at Motel Sofitel in Bloomington for my first 2 years in college, so I think I qualify to join that club. And then also wanted to ask the authors if I could be included as a co-author. I've been a long-term member of the Meet Minneapolis board member, and so would love to support this. I know that Meet Minneapolis has been working on this project for many, many years, diligently trying to ensure that we bring more resources to our downtown community and to the city as a whole. And so I want to just congratulate the whole team, and again, of course, Bill Deef in particular for his service to the city, but dedication to this initiative. Really appreciate it, and hopefully I can be signed on as a co-author.
Absolutely, Councilmember.
All right, seeing no other members on queue, I will, with the Councilmember Cashman's motion to approve this, all those in, Councilmember, were you going to add something?
Yes.
Yes, please, go ahead.
Thank you. I just, Councilman Jenkins, when we form our governance committee for the Dishwashers Association, I'm going to nominate you to be president.
All right, wonderful. All right, with that motion, all those in favor say aye. Aye. And those opposed say nay. The ayes have it and the motion carries. Thank you so much for coming. Great. All right, the last public hearing passage hold on a second. We don't have a public hearing no more. Our next item is quasi-judicial. We have a hearing for a license reunification for Pimento Jamaican Kitchen located at Nicollet Avenue. I'll ask City Attorney if you have any updates about this.
Yes, thank you, Chair. So staff has been in contact with Pimento, and they are in contact with the state about a payment plan for their taxes. We have not received that tax certificate yet, but they are working on it.
Okay. Is the license holder here? They're working on it, so. Councilmember Cashman.
I'll move this item forward without recommendation to the full council to give them the most possible amount of time to get their taxes paid. It is really important that they do get that paid so that we don't have to revoke the license. Pimento is a really beloved restaurant with a location on the lake and then another one in Whittier, or on East Street in Ward 10. So it would be really great to, and I will personally reach out to the owner as well to make sure that they do everything that they can to get these taxes in.
Thank you. I think that's smart decision. Before we do, I know there's, City Attorney, please go ahead.
I did just want to note that you do need to.
Yeah, public hearing.
Thank you.
Yep, I was going to do that next. It's required to have a public hearing, so if the license holder is not here, I'm open to the public hearing for anyone who would like to speak on this item. See no one else, I'll close the public hearing and recognize Councilmember Jenkins. I know this, Councilmember Cashman brought a motion to continue without recommendation. Councilmember Jenkins, please.
Thank you, Chair Osman, and I certainly support Councilmember Cashman's motion. I just know, I know that on our consent agenda, there was a Pimento item. Is it 2 different locations? Okay, I just wanted to get clarity on that. So the one on the consent agenda is for the lake,
Correct.
the Dave Matasca location? Okay. All right. And so they have license for that. They have a liquor license for that, but they're not caught up on their taxes here.
One on Nicollet, yep.
On Nicollet. All right, thank you.
All right, with the motion to, from Councilmember Cashman, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And those opposed say nay. The ayes have it and the motion carries. All right, now we will be into our final item, which is receive and file from Regulatory Services in response to a legislative directive about proactive rental inspections. I'll ask April Bogart to give us that presentation. Welcome.
Thank you, Chair Osman and council members. My name is April Bogart. I'm the Director of Inspection Services within Regulatory Services. And today I'll be presenting in response to the Proactive Rental License Inspections Legislative Directive. This directive asked Regulatory Services to speak to 3 primary topics: an overview of the city's current rental inspections program, feasibility analysis, covering resource and budgetary considerations for more proactive inspections, and an analysis of potential approaches for more proactive rental inspections. The best way to explain our current program is to share the fundamentals of our approach. First, unlike many jurisdictions, Minneapolis property owners must have a license to rent. Our licensing program involves not only registering the unit or property with the city, but also includes proactive and regular inspections. Secondly, we have the largest proactive rental inspection program in the state. We conduct planned inspections at every rental property, either annually or every 5 to 8 years, depending on their tier status. And I'll explain in more detail what that tier status means in a bit. This proactive approach helps us to discover potential issues at a property without relying on a renter to file a complaint or expecting a property owner to know the ins and outs of the Minneapolis Housing and Maintenance Code or the state fire codes. Another core component of our approach is being responsive to renters' complaints. We don't wait until a scheduled inspection to address an issue. And lastly, it's always our goal to provide compassionate and guiding enforcement. Each enforcement case is different, and when we work to gain compliance, we're looking for the right enforcement strategy that minimizes renter displacement and prioritizes education and accountability. So with that as our foundation, I just want to dig in a little bit on what this looks like on a day-to-day basis. There's several steps involved in rental licensing and inspections, and this process extends throughout the entire year. It starts with licensing properties. We mail license renewals in January of each year with a March renewal date. Usually there are multiple emails and reminders to property owners to renew those licenses. And once they're renewed, we inspect the properties and write any necessary orders to correct for violations that were found during those inspections. Typically, those violations have a due date of 3 days to 30 days, depending on the severity and the risk to the renter. Then we're conducting re-inspections after the due date to ensure compliance. Hopefully, by then, the issues have been corrected, but if they're not, we may be able to grant an extension if the property owner has encountered legitimate barriers to meeting those deadlines, or we can take enforcement measures if they show no progress toward completing the work. And then in the fall of each year, we begin the tiering process all over again. We do a 2-year look back at the properties to see what's been happening over the past 2 years and then adjust their tiering status if needed. So every step in this process does sort of revolve around our tiering structure. So as I mentioned, we're assigning a tier status to every rental property as an indicator of how well maintained the property is. We are also using this to help prioritize our inspections and to set our license fees. The best tier is Tier 1. These are properties that are well maintained, and we're inspecting them at least once every 8 years. Next comes our Tier 2 properties. These are inspected at least once every 5 years. And then our Tier 3 properties, we're keeping a much closer eye on them. These are generally not as well maintained and have multiple documented issues, and we are inspecting these annually. The second part of this legislative directive asks us to report on the feasibility of conducting even more proactive rental inspections than we already do. So in response to council, department staff conducted a robust feasibility analysis of more proactive inspections. This legislative directive is a follow-up to Councilmember Chavez's notice of intent to amend Title 12, Chapter 244, which proposed annual inspections for each property. So we studied what it would take to inspect every one of our more than 111,000 rental units annually. As you can see, it's a pretty big number. Our comprehensive analysis involved multiple teams to ensure accuracy, and we learned that in the first year of such a program, we would require over $73 million in funding. This includes one-time costs like vehicles, office space, computers, et cetera, for new staff. For comparison, our 2024 inspection services budget was about $10.4 million. Starting the second year and moving on, annual inspections for all units in the city would cost over $56 million annually. Inspecting every unit would require more than doubling our regulatory services staffing levels with an addition of 295 staff members. Obviously, this would require a significant increase in funds and would lead to an increase in rental licensing fees. You can see in the chart before you how much annual license fees for each tier would need to increase. So for example, if we look at a Tier 1 single-family rental property, and keep in mind Tier 1 are considered the best properties. We're currently inspecting them at least once every 8 years. The current license fee of $126 would increase by more than 800% to over $1,000 per year. If you look at the percent increases for each tier, you'll also notice that good property maintenance would no longer be financially incentivized, and this would essentially eliminate our tiering structure. So we know that $56 million a year is an impossible lift, and we're also concerned that annual inspections might lead to over-enforcement or push some rental property owners to go under the radar. So while many people look to Minneapolis as a leader in rental licensing and inspections, we do acknowledge that there is room for some growth. And a few potential approaches for more proactive inspections include right-sizing our rental license fees. While we have the largest proactive rental inspection program locally, we have the lowest fees in the metro area. And currently, we're collecting only 58% of our program costs. Historically, we've relied on vacancy savings from multiple divisions to cover that gap, but we no longer have those savings as we're nearly fully staffed. So shoring up our rental license fees to protect our proactive approach seems like something we need to be considering. Secondly, we've already started exploring how we may need to revise our current tiering structure. We want to make sure that properties with more problems and complaints are properly categorized as Tier 2 and 3 properties and are then inspected more frequently. We were just in the early stages of this process, so we don't know exactly what needs to be adjusted until we complete that analysis. But for the purposes of this legislative directive, we did a hypothetical scenario where we analyzed adjusting our inspections timelines. So we looked at a 1, 2, and 5 year timeline instead of a 1, 5, and 8 year timeline. This would lead to some increased costs as well. We would need to increase our license fees to recover 90% of our costs, and it would require an annual general fund contribution of an estimated $1.5 million and $2.6 million in one-time costs. This would require an additional 42 staff for us to adjust that timeline. And then one last approach for more proactive inspections could be to adapt when we use our existing tools to gain faster compliance. Many years ago, in a different chapter of our department's history, regulatory services took a much more heavy-handed approach to enforcement with the goal of keeping renters safe. But an unintended consequence of that was renter displacement because of those enforcement actions. So once that pattern became clear, the department shifted its approach to lessen displacement. And like our city is always changing, we are always changing to try to find the right balance when it comes to enforcement. We don't want to over-enforce, but we don't want to under-enforce. So we think that we have an opportunity to revisit how and when we use our existing tools, such as tenant remedy actions, to gain quicker compliance. That concludes my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that presentation. See if there's anyone who signed up. Oh, Councilmember Allison.
Thank you for the presentation. And I wanted to speak, I'm like on the verge of like maybe sounding scolding, which is not my intent, but this is both a great presentation from staff, diligent, thorough, thank you very much, and also feels like maybe not the correct space for us to be getting this information at committee. This feels like something that council members can get from department staff in a conference room without summoning staff up here to give us a 10-minute presentation. And that's not a reflection of you and the work you did. You did phenomenal. Thank you very much. And but it's just me realizing that some of these conversations, some of these curiosities that we have about how the city's functioning, they don't have to be hashed out up here on the dais. The job can happen in other places other than just up here on the dais. And so I just wanted to encourage that. I'm happy to get the receiving file, but when we see numbers like we've seen, right, 60 million, 75 million to execute this program in the way that council members are asking about, that's something that staff could have told us, not up here on the dais. And so I want to encourage my colleagues. I know that I've been lamenting government structure and some of the ways in which it seems like it has eroded informal communication between council and staff. And so I'll just kind of get back on that boat and just say, like, you know, I hope that we can continue to encourage that because, I've asked this question before as a new council member. Hey, could we do this every year? Because as a new council member, it feels like more thorough. But then you get to know a little bit about how the program works and the rationale behind the program, and you realize that maybe it's not needed, or maybe something's needed but not what you thought. We can hash that out other places other than on the dais. And so that's just more to my colleagues than staff. Thank you for the presentation. It's great info for us to know. But I hope we can get this kind of information, in one-on-one conversations or in private briefings as opposed to receiving files.
Right. I second that. Anyone else? I see none. Thank you so much for that presentation. I'll ask clerk to receive and file on that. Seeing no further business before us with no objection, I will declare this meeting adjourned. Thanks, everyone.